Hey guys, it's Red here, and this time we are in a training room with Chrysler K. We're going to make a lot of shots at Chrysler K at all kinds of angles, and we're going to find out if its armor is really very cool, and if it is, we're going to find out actually how to beat this tank. So let's get to business. First of all, you can see that my crosshairs has effective armor there, and this mod is legal. More than that, this mod will be implemented into the game probably next patch, maybe over the patch, so there was a confirmation about that from Wargaming. And another point is that this mod is not really working entirely correct in 9.18, so don't look at those numbers. We're going to focus on if we penetrate the target or not. This is more informative, I think. So here we are angling Chrysler K, well, pretty significantly, and the IS-3 still manages to penetrate the lower plate. And then I turned Chrysler K even more, and I think it's really over-angling, I would say. And yeah, the IS-3 can't already penetrate it, but unfortunately for Chrysler, now we can try to shoot its side armor, which is only 101mm thick and is not covered by track. Most of it is not covered. So why would you even shoot the covered part? Because the part which is not covered by track is so huge. And we can see that at this angle, the IS-3 with its 225mm of penetration penetrates that spot easily. So no matter how you angle Chrysler K, if it stands just in the open, you can always penetrate it with IS-3 either in the lower plate or in the side armor. You see there are completely no problems penetrating the side armor if it's angled like this. And if you just angle it more straight so that the side armor will be more angled, then you can easily penetrate lower plate. Now let's test Chrysler K against IS-7, which has 250 main AP penetration. Let me remind you that tier 9 heavies, against which we fight pretty often, I would say almost always, they have guns of tier 10 heavies, which have, well, from 246 to 258 penetration, so IS-7 is pretty representative here, and has even below average penetration, comparing to tier 9 heavies we meet, like T10 and 103, and we can clearly see how easily IS-7 penetrates the lower plate of Chrysler at an absolutely crazy angle. So you can only guess how actually thin the lower plate is, how thin the effective armor in the lower plate is. So even if the side armor right now is angled for auto ricochet, there are still a lot of weak spots for tier 9 heavies with 250 plus penetration. There is a cupola, there is a gun mantlet that they can try to hit. So yeah, it becomes a pretty easy target. So let's try the weak spots of this tank, which are valid for 250 plus penetration. That's the penetration of tier 9 heavies, most of them, and for some tier 9 mediums which have guns of tier 10 tanks. That's so I'm talking about cupola and gun mantlet. And also bear in mind that tier 8 heavies, if they use gold rounds, they have even more penetration than that. They have over 260 penetration, so all these weak spots, they are really weak spots even against tier 8 tanks if they use gold. But even without gold, tier 8 heavies usually don't have problems with Chrysler K. If Chrysler K is side scraping, you can always get closer to Chrysler K and shoot its side at a better angle than if you stand far from it. But as you can see, IS-7 tank with not highest penetration, to only 250. Well, right now it penetrates, from time to time it penetrates. If it doesn't hit the gun, if there is no penetration low roll, you can see that just shots in the gun mantlet and the cupola deal damage pretty stable. And that is what happened to me several times in the battles. I got penetrated several times in the gun mantlet. I got penetrated several times in cupola by tier 9 tanks as well. And that wasn't really pleasant. So there is basically no way you can put your tank somehow that you are completely safe. There is always some way to penetrate you. Basically, Chrysler K is a completely overpowered against tier 7 tanks, but its armor is already not that good against tier 8 tanks, and falls apart completely against tier 9 tanks. If Chrysler K is standing straight, or if Chrysler K is face-hugging, then guns with 250 and more penetration can pretty easily simply penetrate its upper plate. Well, in the very lowest part, so that you have best possible angle with it. But there is no big problem with that, so as you can see, well, the first shot didn't go in, but the rest will go in. So basically, Chrysler K is pretty okay armored against your 8 tanks, but it's possible to kill it even then. You can always dive for its weak side armor, or you can penetrate its lower plate, and tier 9 and tier 10 tanks penetrate Chrysler K very easily.